All right, welcome back to Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Ireland Contracting, best in the business, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. If you need a roof, make sure you call Ireland Contracting. Not only do they do roofs, they do siding, they do gutters, they do windows, anything you need. They're the best. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, Ireland Contracting. If you want to call us right now on the Borders to Borders hotline, you can give us a call, 412-575-2600. We're going to go right out to the phone lines, and we got Harry out in Westview. How you doing, Harry?
Hi, Richie.
Hey, thanks for calling, buddy.
You're welcome. Hey, Polanco, they said during the broadcast, is hitting for 3 for the last 30.
Yeah.
And he's a real defensive liability, and I really think a guy like that in right field messes up the confidence of a team when you can't rely on the guy out there.
Well, you know what? If you look at his matrix, he is the second. He's the second worst outfielder, the second worst right fielder in the majors right now. Yeah, he's not a good outfielder, and you can just look. The eye test will tell you he's not a good outfielder. I mean, the guy's. It's a miracle every time he makes a catch. So yeah,
he is. Clint Hurdle may not have the confidence. I mean, he might do what he does with other players, like Jason. Just stick with him.
Well, you know what? I think they want. I definitely, hey, Harry, they want to stick with this guy because he has a lot of potential. He's shown that. He just hasn't done it here, and he hasn't done it really in the last years, and he's very streaky. But you need a guy like, you want him in the lineup because of what he can do, what he has shown you that he has done in the past, that swing, that power. I mean, when he hits the ball, it just sounds so pure when he hits it. But at some point, you got to figure out. And I think this is a big year for Gregory Polanco. You know, he lost a little weight. He said his bat speed's faster. I don't want to stick with him, but I want to give him a break, try to figure things out, and then give him some kind of normal routine. Whether you do start him more than you start Austin Meadows, you start him and then you bring Austin Meadows in because later in the game, if the game's close, because Gregory Polanco is a defensive liability. So you could do something like that. Right now, his trade value is absolutely zero. You can't trade him. But maybe later in the year, in the offseason, or next year at some point, his trade value goes up. Maybe an American League team would want him. He's an American League player, it looks like right now, because he doesn't really have a position out there. And, you know, you don't want to be in a close game if you're competing for a wild card and a lefty comes up and hits a ball and he's just running around the outfield trying to find it, track it down, and misplays it and bounces, and who knows? It's basically a circus out there every time a ball's hit to him. So, all right. Let's go out to Walt out in Hempfield. What's up, Walt?
Yeah, hey, Rich, how you doing?
Good, thanks for calling.
Hey, did you see the bottom of the fourth inning today when Polanco hit the ball and he did not run the first?
Was that the double play?
Yes.
Yeah, he kind of slowed up at the end and the guy tagged him. Maybe, yes. I mean, if he was a hustler, don't you
yes.
think you're taught in Little League sometimes, at least we were taught, you know, you got to run as fast as you can, maybe dive in a situation like that if you see that ball coming off the bag. And that's what was happening. Martinez was off the bag there, and, you know, he just kind of slowed up. You saw him slowing up. But if he runs through it, he beats out that tag, and it's not a double play. I totally get what you're saying. I remember that play.
So what I'm trying to say is, you know, maybe he's not hungry because he got that big salary. So because I travel a lot and I go to the Republic, maybe he needs to go back and get hungry again. Thank you.
And maybe sending him to Indianapolis might do that, you know, but he's still going to make that money. So if it's about money, yeah, maybe he won't be hungry. I don't know. I mean, I think if you're a Major League Baseball player, you want to win. I mean, I want to win in everything that I do. I'm competitive. If you get to that point, you got to be ultra competitive, I would imagine. So if he doesn't have that mindset, maybe they misevaluated him. That's for sure. All right, let's go out to Pat out in North Huntington. Thanks for your call, Walt. Appreciate it. What's up, Pat?
Hi.
Hey.
I have a comment about Polanco. This has been on my mind the entire season. When I see the ball going out to him, and I feel that he should catch it, sometimes his depth perception seems to be off. Have his eyes ever been checked to make sure he doesn't need glasses?
You know what? I've never asked that question. And, you know, maybe that's something that I'll look into. But, you know, a lot of outfielders, they have a routine. I mean, you might take a couple steps in before you go back, or you might take a couple steps back before you come in. But, yeah, it does seem like, and, you know, look, today was a day game. If you're looking at today, maybe sun was in his eye, and that's potentially a problem. Or lights when that ball's hit up there. So, you know, I mean, he's just not a good fielder. And I think he feels most comfortable in right field. You can't put this guy in center. And obviously, seeing what he did last year in left field, you can't put him in left field. So he definitely is a defensive liability. But as for his eyes, I'm sure that Major League Baseball teams check that. And you would think that they would know if there's something wrong or if he doesn't have 20/20 vision. So I'd imagine that would be checked. I don't think that's an oversight. But
that's something that could be asked, though, just to be sure.
Yeah, that's something that I could ask him next time I'm in the Pirates locker room. Is there anything wrong with your eyes or line of sight? Or, you know, I mean, but when I have asked him in the past about his defense, I mean, that's something that he's working on and he feels comfortable. And I know the Pirates really think he's athletic and he can play any one of those positions. I mean, he played center field his whole life. Can you imagine him in center field right now? It would be a disaster.
Right.
So I appreciate the call, Pat. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go out to Mike in Breezewood. How you doing, Mike?
Yeah, pretty good. Hey, this isn't Little League, Rich. You don't have to play everybody every day or every other day.
Yeah.
They're big boys. Send him back to the minors. Tell him to get his act together. You'll be looking for another home.
But you know what, Mike? I mean, you send him back to the minors. What does that do right now? Does it hurt his psyche? You know, I would work with him here. He is a pretty good bat at some point. Maybe he's not proving it right now with an 87, but he has potential. We've all seen that. We saw what he did at the beginning of the year. I mean, he was a big reason why the Pirates were winning games. They need to find that. And I don't know about sending him back to the minors yet, but I would work with him here and play Austin Meadows until he goes into a slump and find a way to incorporate Polanco maybe every fourth day or every couple days or during matchups. All right, we got to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls and some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.